Hello again, everybody, and thank you again for checking out Caught in Limbo. Today, our talent tribute series continues with Peter Delocis, who played the role of Mr. Sebastian Dyie in Caught in Limbo's first episode that was titled The Wrapping Paper. So, Peter, as people who have watched the show know, Sebastian Dyie is a funeral home director, and I can only imagine what might have been going on in your mind when you were coming in to read for the part of a funeral home director. Take us through your thoughts before you came in for the read.
Well, you don't want to get too involved in creating something because you have to adapt to whatever direction you get. But I thought this is a guy, as he was written, right, who essentially has no sense of humor, right? And you have this situation where all the other people in the show go through life doing these things without any particular sense that they're going to have consequence. And Sebastian is, I think, the first real consequence that they face. So I just thought he would be close to dead himself, very sort of more still, Also, here's the thing. Everybody has a job. You have a job, right? So when you're faced with a problem, that's like a really annoying problem during your workday, that is neither a client nor a customer nor an associate or anything. There's a way you handle that. You're just
right.
Because funeral directors really do deal with a lot of people who can be governed by the emotions of the tragedies that they're experiencing, right? They have their hands full. They don't need this.
And Peter, that scene, we should mention, the scene that you were in charted with our audience as the funniest scene in the event, in the program, which is pretty cool, I think. So you took this character that never existed and you kind of created this aura, and you nailed it. You were at that moment a funeral home director, and obviously you did a fantastic job because our audience members just absolutely loved the funeral home scene when you were in there with the South Shore character. Let me ask you this, Peter, the concept of this show, this kind of, not heaven, not hell, kind of caught in the middle, limbo, what to do with different situations. Did you like this concept upon reading the script, or were you kind of not sure about it? Or?
Well, here's the thing, a couple of things. First of all, I do want to make it clear that I know actual funeral directors, many of whom are far warmer and funnier and cooler than Sebastian Dyie. I mean, to a person, really. But circling back, so I don't, piss off anybody who's going to cremate me later. I think that when you have a character that's that distinct, he lives in his own world, and the other people just parachute into it and out of it, right? So when you look at the world they live in, he has his own job and work and life. And I tried not to make myself aware of their larger world or their larger problems, because that was a distraction to involving myself in this particular person's life and reality, which was so different from mine that you have to create that. And you know what I mean? We are all sort of trapped between what happened before we were born and what happened afterwards. And we do not understand the content of either of those periods. There's no way of knowing except to die, and many people aren't in a hurry to do that. So there is a way in which you can think that your awareness that you have a limited amount of time to accomplish what you need to accomplish can define your life.
And Peter, you have an extensive experience Born in Hopewell Junction, New York. You very active in the local improv community. You've done training in New York City. You've done scripted theater. You've done some film work. You seem like you really had fun when you came in to shoot your scene as Sebastian Dyie. Did you have fun doing this? Was it a fun experience for you?
You know, here's the thing. I had done scripted work a while ago, and so it had been a while since I had to memorize anything. And I was very aware that that memorizing things causes me great anxiety. That's one of the reasons why I often like to do improv, because having to live in that moment takes away any thought that you're going to think of what to say next, because if you do that in improv, you're not necessarily listening to what you're supposed to. And so I had to sort of shuffle off that and pay attention to my coworkers, which is, like, I think my task. You know, it's my job. Because again, yeah, I know that you like to say that I have extensive experience, but I don't necessarily have a lot of experience in doing these sort of shoots where you have a script and you don't spend weeks going over it. You have to get it.
And which makes this even more impressive. That you did a good job.
It's kind of the job. I mean, I don't want to screw up your movie. You know, and if I did, you don't get the pizza you gave me back. It's over.
You did a fabulous job. So still, even when I watch it today for the billionth time, still so impressed with your work and what you're able to bring to the show. As a matter of fact, we've started thinking, how can Sebastian Dyie return, or what would be the circumstances for having a Sebastian Dyie return to Caught in Limbo, which we're having a lot of fun in those discussions. We do have a tentative date scheduled for our second episode release, which is going to be June 4th at the Spectrum at 6 o'clock. And what we'll do, Peter, is in the description for your video, we'll put a link to episode 1 so our viewers can click on that link if they haven't seen you in action already and check your fabulous work as Mr. Sebastian Dyie. Any thoughts, Peter? How can Sebastian Dyie come back? What would that have to look like?
Well, you know, here's the thing. People go shopping. You know, people live their life when they're not at work. They just do whatever else they do. So if his personality is true at work, what is his personality like when you're at Price Chopper and there's no pasta? Right? I mean, what is his personality like when he can't find a place to park in front of his house? You know, all of those things become, you know, if he reacts this way to people who he thinks can't do him any good, what does the rest of his life look like? Right? That's all I have to ask myself. What's the rest of his world?
Peter Delocis, you've given us a lot to think about.
Thank you.
We thank you for joining us. We look forward to hopefully working with you again, and we appreciate all your work for the great job you did on episode 1.
Well, listen, we're recording this in April of 2020, when a lot of weird stuff is going on. So I absolutely look forward to seeing you in person, because I really enjoyed working with you. But, you know, to being able to film and to get together in a theater again, to watch what we've done. So,
absolutely.
Good luck and good health to everyone.
Yes. Thank you, Peter. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.